Welcome to my Churchill1 tank review. This is Underhook and my YouTube is Reginald ESQ or Reginald Esquire. Welcome. Well, after driving the if you're worried about the background, it's Halloween, so they've got the Halloween background. That's why it looks funny and the lighting's a bit strange. Now, Churchill heavy tank. Is it a good tank? It's good and it's not good. Let's go through the stats. 700 hit points, quite good. It weighs 40 to 47 tons, has 350 horsepower engine, so it's not much power for a tank of this weight. Speed 25.7, yeah, 25, and you won't get much more out of it than that, even downhill. It's pretty slow. Traverse speed 22, which is slow. The armor looks great on paper, and in practice is terrible. You have a front 177 at the front. The side armor is 63 and the rear is 50, and I'll go over some weaknesses of the armor a bit later. Turret armor 88 at the front and the side, 76 at the rear. Okay, what else can we tell you about it? Rate of fire. Traverse speed of the turret is 34, which is quite good, so the turret moves quite quickly. View range 350 is not too bad, and signal range of 550 is quite good as well. Now let me just show you the gun now. So the gun, we have a rate of fire of 12.5, which for a tier 5 tank is very quick. Average penetration of 145, which is quite good, and a damage of 135, which is quite poor. Accuracy of 0.36, which is quite good for tier 5. Aiming time of 2.3, which is not too bad. The main thing with the gun is it's fairly accurate, it's fairly good penetration, the damage is very weak, but its rate of fire is very good, so you're relying on, same as Matilda, you're relying on getting those shots out there. Now, unlike the Matilda, let me go over some weaknesses here. On the side, this is not spaced armor on the side like the Matilda has. So if you put a hole in here, you're putting a hole straight into the hull of the tank. These hatches here are weak spots. The center, the very center of the exhaust is weak, but surrounding it's not. The tracks, it's very easily tracked, this tank, because you have no covers on the tracks. I suggest you equip a toolkit, and also suggest you get the enhanced suspension to it increases your strength of them by 20%, because if any artillery goes off near your tracks, it will track you. Anybody can shoot your tracks easily. You get tracked all the time in this tank, so you really need repairs on your crew, repair kit, and tracks you need. Okay, let's go over the armor weaknesses here. First of all, the armor's not sloped. Everything's flat. So, angling your tank will increase the thickness of the armor, but flat on, it's terrible. Also, the armor is Swiss cheese. This area here is 177. So this bit there, this little bit here is 177. This hatch is not. Surrounding this gun is nothing. This side is not 177, it's much less, and can be penetrated quite easily. On the turret, which it says is 88, and yeah, this part's 88, but all around the gun here is open. Look at that. You can shoot straight into there. It's virtually unarmored. Because of these weaknesses, when you're facing an enemy, it's suggested you always try and keep the enemies to your right, so you can cover this portion here, because it's quite vulnerable, so you want to cover that and angle this side. If you angle this side, you're letting them shoot your weakest spot, so you want to cover that like that. Don't expose the side too much though, because the side only has 63 hull armor, and that's the hull, it's not spaced, so you really need to be about there. So it's a bit tricky. They will track you, you'll get tracked all the times, but the tracks will actually protect you to a certain extent. If you get hit on the front of the tracks here, the tracks do cover you. This part of the back of the turret cannot actually be penetrated. It's just an ammo box. It's not considered part of the tank. So if someone shoots you in the side of that, it does nothing. The rear is not too hard to penetrate. They'll just smash straight through the rear tank. It's not sloped. It's just power straight into it. Okay. What else can I tell you? The tank is very slow. You have to plan where you're going to go. You can't zoom around, a bit like the Matilda. You can't zoom around everywhere trying to change your mind about where you're going to go, or respond to a crisis somewhere halfway across the map, because you just won't get there in time. The other thing to note about this tank is it has almost no gun depression whatsoever. If you go on a hill, you will most likely die because you cannot shoot down a hill unless your whole tank's pointing downhill. Gun depression is almost non-existent, so I tend to never go near a hill in this. Even if you go over a pebble on the front of your tank, your gun will be pointing at the sky. Now, it sounds like I hate this tank, but I actually don't. It's actually good fun. The gun is what makes the tank. It's good fun if you're careful. Don't go on hills. Try and find cover and snipe. It's a sniping tank. Alright, on to some gameplay. Okay, we're now going to have a game in the Churchill Mark 1. Now, one thing about the Churchill is it has virtually no gun depression. So there's not a lot of times when I start in this position in this game, I go straight across the tracks and up the hill to try and secure the hill, and then snipe down to the town from the hill. The Churchill, basically hills equal death because it has no gun depression, so I cannot go there. Yeah, I am expected to do a bit of the work because I'm tier 5 heavy. There's only one tier 6 tank each in this game. We've got one, they've got one. Most of the rest of the tanks are tier 5s and 4s. But to suit the Churchill, what I like to do is go on this hill. I'll speed up a little bit until I get into position here so you can see where I go. And I tuck myself in here. The rail car is just to protect me from fire from the hill. In case they start firing at me from the hill, I can just duck back behind the rail car. But from this position here, I can see quite well, as you can see, into the town. And I can snipe into the town. You'll see some people in front of me doing similar things on the rail track there. It also allows me to scan to the left if I need to. If tanks start coming from the left, I can get shots off on them if they're popping up over the hill and things. Doesn't look like we've got many people out there spotting, so that may not happen in this game. So I usually sit here, if I'm in a Churchill type tank, I'll sit here for the start of the game and see how things develop. And now we've spotted someone, here we go. Now, in a tank like the Churchill, ammunition is very cheap and it's a quick loading gun. So when there's cover like that, I just destroy the cover. That helps our friendly tanks. By removing the cover, it allows them to spot and exposes the enemy tanks to our fire. It's terrible for my accuracy rating, so you'll see my accuracy rating is actually not too bad, but it would be a lot better if I didn't shoot cover. Now, in something like a KVIS or something like that, you wouldn't do this because your gun takes so long to reload. And your ammunition is so expensive, over 1,000 credits per round, that you just cannot do it. So, but in a tank like a Churchill or a Matilda, something rapid firing where the ammo is cheap, I just like to blow away the enemy's cover. It doesn't actually get me anything except it helps us win the game as a team, which I guess gets me more credits anyway, because if we win the game, then I get more credits and more experience. There you go. So I've exposed that tank to our fire now.
That one didn't go through.
If I could just penetrate, I'd be a happy man. There's nowhere you can hide, buddy, because I'm going to destroy all your cover. He's hating me right now. go, a likely suspect.
Penetration.
He's gone. I try and leave buildings that are close to our side intact so that our tanks still have some cover. But I can see someone shooting behind this house, so I know there's somebody there, so I'm just trying to expose them now. So our tanks are more over towards that middle section of the map there. There they are. Whereas the enemy's been coming a little bit from the left there. So we've opened up the enemy side of the map and kept our side of the map closed. Can't see anything, so I decide it's time to move in. Currently we have no kills. And it's fairly even, 5 kills to 6. I'll speed this up a little bit because the tank's so slow. And I'll slow it down again here. It is a slow tank, about 25 kilometers an hour, but it's faster than the Churchill Mark 7, which just goes about 20 kilometers an hour. So if you don't like slow tanks, don't go the Churchill line. Well, I guess nobody likes slow tanks, but it's a trade-off. Well, we're getting hit by, it looks like, artillery there. That was a near miss, which did 13 points of damage. So I'm taking cover behind this house here, which I can see through a little bit. And see, yeah, there. They know where we are. So yeah, see, I just took out a bit of cover and I exposed the tank. Someone else is taking out cover now as well. And artillery is taking my cover out, so I've got to move. I can tell it's artillery because it took so long between shots, so it's taking a long time to reload, which means I'm pretty safe now moving just after it's shot. Hopefully I get to a reasonably safe position before it's reloaded. And there we've spotted the enemy tank.
Enemy is hit. Got him.
405. Either someone hit at the same time or I ammo racked him. One of the two. Because Matilda gun doesn't do that much damage. Now I can see that the base indicator, base capture indicator is flashing, which means we're not capturing the base, which means there must be other tanks in the base. So that's why I started backing up and looking around, and here we have an enemy tank.
Armor is hit.
Because we've got a few tanks in here, so it should be going up the indicator, so that tells me there's enemy in the cap circle, so start looking for them. I've seen 2 over this area. So I'm shooting from this position because I'm fairly safe from artillery here, that's why I'm not moving towards these tanks yet. I'm trying to keep covered from that artillery. And guess what? It found me. One of the tanks I was shooting at must have spotted me. So now it's time to move. Now I don't want to be still if artillery's found me again. I just want to keep
Enemy
moving.
vehicle destroyed.
Alright, we're doing well now. So we've gone from 0 kills to 2 kills.
Enemy armor is hit.
Another good hit.
They're knocked
And another
down.
good hit. You can see there what I'm doing is trying to angle my tank so that it's not front on, but exposing a bit of my side. Exposing my big tracks. Another tank coming in here, so I don't think this tank has seen me. So I'm staying here behind the house and bits and pieces of cover. And trying to get a clean shot now. I just got hit again there. That would be artillery again. So I need to back up. Thankfully it's not high tier artillery. Artillery below tier 5 artillery is, to be honest, not very good. Artillery doesn't get good until probably tier 6 is where artillery is very dangerous. Before that, it's not too bad. So is this a Matilda we're shooting, is it?
Penetration.
I don't know why he's not turning to face me and present his best armour to me. He's just trying to get away, I guess. But he's making himself a sitting duck. Now I've just seen another tank down there. It's dived down the hill. I've got 4 kills now, and I'm the only tank left alive on our side, and there are 2 tanks still remaining on the other side, the artillery and the other tank. So heading over to get the other tank, and I've been hit by artillery again. Tracked me and did me some damage there. I'm in trouble now. I don't want to get hit by artillery again, so I'm going to keep moving. I know I'm moving away. Alright, so sorry about that. Bandicam only lasts for 10 minutes. It's a trial version. I haven't paid for it, and it ran out, so I had to restart it. Okay, so here we've found the enemy. He's going to be spotting us for artillery. We have to nail him. Very lucky. He only had 77 points, I think it was, left. The little French tank. Now I'm turning straight away. I'm not stopping whatever I do because artillery will be zeroing in on me. And I've turned. There you go. If you keep moving, especially at this tier, very hard for artillery to hit you unless you move in a predictable fashion. I'm moving back into the cap circle to put pressure on there. So I'm capping now. That puts pressure on artillery. If he wants to win the game, he has to come and get me. I'm hiding behind the cover here, trees, buildings. I'm heading for that other building up there. My plan is to just sit there now and wait, so that the only way artillery can get me is by coming in, which then puts me at an advantage and gives me a chance to win the game. So I'm on 5 kills, 1 tank each left on each side. Not looking good for him. Okay, it stopped capping, and there he is. So he's done the only thing he could do, which is come in, and he's probably just going to try and sneak up and hit me, but he got detected on the way in, unfortunately for him, and fortunately for me. So I'm using this building here as cover. And then I plan to use the tank, the dead tank just up there, as my next bit of cover. And when I get to that dead tank, I'll turn to face his position, presenting my best armor. Oh! He just missed me. I was lucky. That could have killed me. And he's got to run now because he's still reloading. He stopped. Bad move. That's it, folks. Let's have a look at the stats. Okay, great game in the Churchill there. Essentially was a tier 5 game. I mean, we had 1 tier 6 tank in there, but it was a tier 5 game where the Churchill does pretty well. Its armour holds up quite well at that level. And its gun, even though it doesn't do a lot of damage, it's rapid firing, does quite well at that level as well. You can see there, we did hit the KV-1S, so we did engage the 1 tier 6 tank in it. We hit quite a few tanks. We've got Top Gun, and we've got De Langlade's medal, which is a medal you get for killing 4 enemy tanks within the cap circle. And yeah, I'll move on to the next screen. Whoops, excuse my not being very professional there. Okay, so we finished on top for experience with 995. We did 1,645 damage, which is quite good for a tier 5 tank. And the T49 on our side did very well on 1,200 damage as well, and good amount of experience. And our team overall did fairly well. Similar on the Avenue team, they also did very well. Their Stug got 1,751 damage and 5 kills. So commiserations to you. 5 kills and that much damage, you would think you would win. But it just so happened that we had similar scores, and the rest of my team did a better job than the rest of your team. So unfortunately, he missed out. They didn't even get a medal, which is unfortunate because that would have given him the experience boost and credit boost. Such is life. Okay, we can see here that we fired 53 shots with 21 hits. And as I said, you know, I tend to blow away a lot of cover when I've got cheap ammunition. So you can see that my accuracy rating will drop severely, but that's such as life. 21 direct hits, 15 penetrations. So we did bounce quite a few shots. Hits received 6 and penetrated 6. We didn't bounce any shots. So perhaps the armor not that great. I wasn't really angling very well anyway. Potential damage received 1500. Enemy spotted 1. Damage 7, destroyed 6. Damage upon our spotting 67. That's nothing really. And we got 18 base capture points. As far as experience goes, yes, we got a stack load of experience, 4,476. But if you have a look, it was 990 or 995. Yep. Then with premium, it came up to the 1492. We got ×2 for the first game of the day. We also got ×2 for a mission they're running at the moment called Max Carnage mission. So that's given us a bit more. So we ended up with triple experience really. Credit wise, 36 grand, which is good, pretty good on tier 5. We ended up with 27 profit, which is fantastic. When you look how many shells we fired, 53 shells, and that ammunition has only cost us 5,300. That's cheap ammo. Okay, this game has some good matchmaking for the Churchill. I've chosen this game because it shows you how in a slow tank like a Churchill or a Matilda or a Black Prince, you need to plan ahead what you're going to do, and also recognising what your tank can and can't do. So a Churchill really is going to have a hard time if it goes in the middle due to gun depression. You really don't want to be going up and down hills. So I'm heading straight for the forest where I can do a little bit of sniping. I don't intend to stay there very long, but I need to get there initially. Yes, I know it's a little bit hilly, so I'm just contradicting myself. But I can find a position where I can't be spotted for a while and use the accuracy of the Churchill's gun to do a little bit of sniping. I might just speed it up a little bit here. I'll slow it down now if someone's been spotted. And there you go. We've got a shot in already.
Enemy armor is damaged.
So our team got the first kill there. Just seeing if there's any available targets in the centre. That was never going to penetrate. Too high on his armour. It's quite sloped to Hetzer armour. But once you get to the lower part of the front, not a problem. Now that Panzer IV actually came out in front of the building there, so I'm just waiting to see if he pops out in front of the building again. But he's gone the other way. He's popped out of cover though.
Enemy is hit.
And he got away. Alright, so the initial rush of centre spotting is over, so I start moving forward now. You can get left behind quite easily in the Churchill since everyone else moves quite a bit faster, or generally does. You don't want to get too far behind, or even if they're spotting people, you won't be able to see them. Team's doing fairly well here, 9-6, but it's 9-7 now. Panzer IV's gone. So I'm just going up the top of the hill here to take advantage of a sniping position. And I just have to pause here. Sorry if the video jumped around a little bit there. My son came in and started having a chat to me. Okay, 10 all now, so we're in a bit of trouble. Now I can see here that we just had a tank disappear from the back here. That means the enemy must be coming up around the other side there. So I decided to turn around and head back. And this is what I mean about at Churchill, you have to plan things way ahead. We haven't spotted any enemy there, but we're near their base. We haven't spotted anyone up there. And one of our tanks near our base just got taken care of. That means probably the enemy's on their way to our base. So I need to decide early to go there. Now I could be wrong, and they haven't gone there, and I've wasted the game and I will not see another opponent for the rest of the game, or I've made the right decision. You just don't have the maneuverability in a Churchill to well, if you make a wrong decision, that's it, you can't get back. So if I end up being wrong and they all appear at their other base, there's no way I can get there before in time to help. As it turns out, I made the right decision. There's a KV1. And he's probably going for our artillery if they've spotted it. Our artillery might not have been spotted. He's not shooting. He hasn't seen me either. And our artillery finishes him off. And there's a T1. Hasn't seen either of us. Well, he might have seen the artillery. He has seen the artillery. Shooting at the artillery. So I need to do well. I was aiming for his hatch, but he's disappeared off my screen now. Aiming for the cupola, but we'll just take whatever we can get now. He's moving, so I can't afford to aim at a cupola. Saved our artillery there. See if we can do it again. And the artillery finishes him off. Nice. He did get a hit on the artillery too, so this our artillery is doing very well actually. 3 kills. Now they've only got 1 tank left, and I'm guessing that that tank was part of the assault on our base, and when we started shooting the other tanks he ran away. I could be wrong, but that's my guess, and that's the assumption I'm going under here. I'm going straight through the base, and it looks like our arty is under the same assumption. He's charging forward, and I'm charging forward too, but I'm in a Churchill, so I'm not doing it very quickly. I'm using the road just to get any speed advantage I can. I've got full health, so I'm not worried about this Sherman. I probably should be. He can do damage, substantial damage to me if he's in cover, but I figure I've got the artillery with me. If I just keep going forward, we can both take care of it. And there he is. He's still now. Okay, what he's doing now is he's seen me and he's coming straight for me. I don't know if he wants to ram me or what he's trying to do, but he's trying to move fast and use his speed to stop me. But the turret traverse is very good in the Churchill. I'm angling my tank to stop him doing too much damage to me. He gets a hit in there, but Artie, legendary, finishes him off with 4 kills. Very nice. Alright, looking at the stats from that Churchill match, we did quite well. We hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks, destroyed 2. Quite happy with that. 1683 damage is very good. A little bit of spotting damage as well. No medals or anything. And as far as damage goes, we were well on top with 1683. Next closest was about here, about 559. And we topped the experience with 699. Our Artie did very well with 4 kills there. He was finishing off everything I hit. Good game. And final screen of stats, we fired 20 shots, 15 of which hit, 14 penetrated, so we did really well with penetrations. We were hit once, that was at the end by the M4 there. Yep, 7-2, a bit of spotting damage. It was the first mission of the day, so we've got ×2 on the experience. Very good experience actually. And very good profit, 32,000. So all in all, that was a great game. Well, I hope you enjoyed my review of the Churchill1. Second of my reviews, I will be putting a review on for the Churchill7 very shortly if you're interested in that. I'm Underhook, and my YouTube name is Reginald ESQ. So please feel free to subscribe if you wish to watch any more of these. And have fun.